Hello! Today we're going to show you how to make this beautiful little soup dragon. Isn't she adorable? We're going to be using this fabulous little kit in a tin. Let's see what's inside. I can't wait to take a look. First up, we're going to open up the package and see what little bits and pieces we get. Let's have a look. Oh, isn't she cute? This is going to be such a fun project to make. What do you think? Well, we won't need instructions because we've got this video. Here's some glue, great, and some stuffing. And finally, the little bits of sewing that we're going to do later. Wonderful. Right, so let's see how she's made. First, we'll need to open our stuffing and get it all out of the bag. So let's take a look. Right, when you get it out, you're going to need to fluff it up because it's quite sort of compressed from being in that little bag. Make it nice and fluffy so that when you stuff it, you've got a nice texture to your little soup dragon. So get it all apart, nice and pulling, so this actually feels really lovely, and I think you'll quite enjoy this little bit. Wow, there's quite a lot there. Will it fit into our soup dragon? I bet it will, but you'll have to wait and see. So first, we're going to start with the legs. Make sure you get it right into the bottom of all the 4 toes. It can be a little bit fiddly, but just push it in and do each foot or leg at a time. Now, what can be really helpful is to use a pencil to push it right to the bottom. So we've got the 4 legs. Now it's on to the little arms. The arms really are fiddly, so you might have to use that pencil. But I know you can do it, or ask a grown-up to help you if you need. But I know you can get them in there. The pencil will really help. Right, next we need to move on to the head. So again, take some of your cotton wool and stuff it right to the top. You want to get it into the nose part and the mouth part all the way in. And if you need, again, use that pencil to push it all the way. Get it nice and stiff. You want to get really good texture and make your soup dragon super, squishy and soft, but also have some texture. Right, next it's the tail. Make sure you get it all to the bottom. Get it nice and soft and stiff. Push it all the way in. Get your pencil if you need to. Okay, the next thing is to fill the rest of your soup dragon's body with all the stuffing. It might not look like it will fit, but it will. Trust me, you can get it all in there and make it nice and firm. Here we go. What do you think? She's looking great, isn't she? Right, the next bit will be to start sewing. So we've got some threads, and we're going to get a little bit of the green thread out and make it just the right length so we can sew up our little soup dragon. Right, now we're going to have to thread our needle. It can be a bit fiddly, but let's see. You'll have to once if I get the camera in focus, get your thread underneath and carefully push it through. Okay, pull it a little bit, not too far. And now we're ready to start sewing. Right, I'm going to start at the one end and I'm going to push my needle through. Can you see? I'm going to pull it, but not all the way, because we're going to have to tie a little knot. Now it's really important that you pull it and you put your thread over and then you push it round. Can you see? So you've got it over the top, and now I'm going to push it under and through the loop, and then I'm going to pull it tight. There you go. Okay, now I'm going to do another one just to make sure it's extra tight, because you don't want it coming loose when you've started sewing. All right, now you can tuck it inside your soup dragon so you can't see the end of the thread, and then we're going to start sewing it shut. Okay, here we go. We're going to crisscross. So we come in from the outside, inside, pull. Oop, got it around the leg there. Pull it. Now we're coming in from the inside and coming back out. Okay, pull it tight. So coming from the outside on the right, push it into your little soup dragon and pull tight. Okay, and then we'll do it again. This time we're going to go in from the inside, so in to out. Oh, got it round the legs again, and pull, and then you keep going. Repeat with all the other stitches. Okay, so now we need to tie a little knot again. So what I do is, can you see, I take the needle and I push it through the last little stitch I did, push it in through, and then as you come through, you tuck it through the loop and pull, and that creates a little knot. Now, I like to do it again just for luck and to make sure it's really safe, because you don't want it coming undone when you're playing with your soup dragon. So push it through again, push it, then you create that little loop and push your needle through. There we go. Now we're done. Now I'm just going to push the needle through the body, poke it down the middle and give it a little trim. That way the end of your thread is inside your soup dragon and it won't be sort of hanging around. Lovely, isn't she looking great? Okay, next part. First, we're going to have to sort out our little bits. So I'm going to put them all in different sizes, small greens, big greens, yellows, and the little nostrils. And then we can start sticking. Right, this is super, really good glue. So you'll have to open up your glue first, and there's like a little cap that you need to take off, otherwise you can't get to your glue. This is just to make sure that when your glue's in your box, it doesn't dry out. So we'll just open that little cap, put it in the bin or to the side, and then it's time to start gluing. Right then, we're going to start with a large blob of glue on the side of the soup dragon's head. We're going to put on a big scale. There's a nice big rounded bit at the bottom, stick that on. Now we're going to put 2 smaller scales on the side of her face or towards the nose. Oop, glue's a little bit sticky, be careful, but it's really good glue and it'll make it nice and secure. Get that second one on. There we go. And pop it on. Done. Okay, so let's turn around and we'll repeat the same on the other side. Isn't she looking great already? Really sweet. Be careful and do let it dry. I'm now going to put some little scales on the top of her nose as well as the nostrils. So put 2 little dabs of glue for each nostril. Don't put too much. There we go. Get your little bit in the middle. Then I'm going to pick up my scale. Oh, there we go. It can be a little bit tricky to hold, but I know you can manage. And the little nostrils. Now this can be a bit fiddly, just take your time. And she's looking very much like the soup dragon that we know and love. Aww, lovely. Now next, if you want, but you don't really have to, you can add a little bit of glue to the eyebrows. That will help you stick them to the eye and kind of shape them a little bit more, because I don't know, it just looks a bit more like our little soup dragon. So hold it there. It might have to, the glue might have to dry a little bit, and then you might have to squish it down a little bit again just to make sure it's securely in place. Right, let's see. Now we're going to put some scales down the front. I'm going to put some glue on. 1, 2, and 3. And then I'm going to get 3 of the big scales. Start at the bottom, get your next one, and overlap it slightly. There you go. See, so you've got that sort of scaly effect. And then you have your third one. Remember, there's an up and there's a down to your scales. So we've got the rounded bit at the bottom. Lovely. If you need to, just add a little bit of glue to secure it and press it down to make sure it's nice and secure. Right, it's time to move on to the side of our soup dragon. I think you have about 3 or 4 rows that fit. I've just put a couple in just to see how it looks. 4 rows is best. This just helps me see, and if it helps you as well, you can just put them in place. And then we're going to start gluing. Right, I've left that one there just so I can see what's going on. And now I'm going to start applying the glue. So a nice, big, generous row of glue. Push it all the way to the end, and then start adding your scales. Add some little yellow ones along the way as well, and as you go, just keep creating a new row for each layer. There we go, look at that. Make sure they overlap a little bit, your scales. Second row, time for our third row. This time I'm going to pick the slightly bigger ones. There we go, and our final row. This is such a fun part of making your soup dragon. Look at that, doesn't it look amazing? So sweet. Now it's really important that you let this dry for a good hour, hour and a half. So you might find it better to let it dry first and then do your other side, or if you can be careful, you can gently turn your soup dragon round, and like you can see me doing here, you can start creating the scales on its other side. But it does take a good hour to 2 hours for the glue to dry fully, and then your scales will be really secure. Well done, you've made your soup dragon. Isn't she lovely? Now there's one thing left to do. Our soup dragon needs her own soup bowl with some blue string pudding. So we're going to start off by getting our black thread ready. You don't need a whole piece like before, just cut some off. Push your thread in underneath through your needle like we did before, and now we're going to secure it to the long bit of your soup bowl. I'm going to tie a little knot like we did before. So push your needle in from underneath, pull it out, not all the way, make sure it doesn't pull all the way through by accident. And then like we did before, you're going to wrap your short piece of string round the other piece of string. So over the top, tuck it in underneath and pull out tight. There we go. And then do it again, just to make sure it's extra safe. There we go. And then you can snip it off. Now it's time to sew across. So we're going to go from outside, and if you can, push it. So we're going to go through out. There we go, pull. And then from the inside, there we go, from the inside out again. Can you see that? It's very similar to the stitch we did before. So we're going to go from the outside in and then from the inside out like we did before. There we go. And we're going to finish all the stitches. Great. It's time to tie it off again like we've done before. Put your needle underneath, and as you come around to loop, push it through, and then do another one for good luck. Okay, now we need to secure your soup bowl side to your basin. It's very similar, to be honest. You just have to take your time, and it's a little bit fiddly at the beginning, but just push your needle through and tie a knot like we've done before. And then once that's ready, you align your circles, so your dots, and you push the needle through one hole and then into the next one. Can you see that? It's one hole at a time, pushing it through the next of the soup bowl base. Here we go. Let's repeat that. They're all lined up. It's a little bit fiddly, but I know you can do it, and it'll look great at the end. So push it through, then get the corresponding hole, push through that one. Can you see? And pull. And again, through the base, in through the top, and pull. And then you just keep going round until you're all done. So the last few stitches can be a little bit fiddly because, you know, it's just the size of the bowl and how it all fits together, but I know you can do it. So we'll just finish off those last few, and then we have to tie a little knot like we've done before. So push it through, push your needle underneath one of your stitches, and then as the loop comes through, you push your needle through again to create that little knot. Do it again just to really secure it, and then at the end just trim your thread. Look at that, well done. Right, that's your soup bowl finished. All you have to do now is to add your blue string pudding and you're all done. Well done, isn't that adorable? Such a lovely little make, and it all comes in the kit and you don't need anything extra. I think it's really lovely and a really fun little DIY. Nom 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 nom. I think the soup dragon's happy too.